Hello and welcome. So I'm going to take you on a walkthrough on how I complete my NDG NETLAB Plus Lab Security Plus Lab series. Okay, so first of all, this lab is about setting up a load balancer, and the objectives in this lab, some of the things we'll be doing, we're going to set up the web servers, the web server on Windows, web server on Ubuntu server. We're going to set up the load balancing and then test and observe. Okay, so I'm just walking you through on my journey on how I'm preparing for my cybersecurity career, and this is one of the labs that I'm supposed to do and submit this week. So as a form of introduction, load balancing will spread the stress from one server to multiple servers. Failover plays a big part in a continuity plan. When a server fails, we still want the business to continue to provide service to its customers. This is where failover kicks in. It detects the status on the production server and takes over when failure is detected. So the objective of this lab is to set up and test a load balancer, set up and test the failover. So that's what we're going to be achieving. This is the topology of the lab. We have the Kali as the external, we have the pfSense firewall, we have Ubuntu server in the DMZ, and the internal network, we have the Windows OS. So we're going to be working on Windows OS and Ubuntu. I've not done this lab before, so this is me and you working through it together so that I can complete it and submit. Okay, so these are the lab settings, and the reason I'm recording it is to document my journey and also help someone out there who wants to have access to this kind of labs. This information is the lab settings, so it's giving you the IP addresses of the virtual machines and their corresponding passwords. So I'll go right straight into it because it's actually a timed lab and I don't want my time to be up before I'm done. So we're going to set up the web servers. Okay, so in this section we will set up the load balance on the pfSense firewall. Now, if the company is hosting a website, it's a good practice to load balance the traffic onto different servers, so no single server is getting overloaded. Now we're going to click on the Windows operating system and key in the password, which is what I'm going to do now. The Windows operating system. Then on the drop down, we send Control or Delete and then key in the password. Okay, so now we're logging into the Windows operating system. So once logged in, it says we should click the Server Manager icon to launch it. Now in Server Manager, we're going to click Manage and select Add Rules and Features. Okay, so we're going to do that. Server Manager, under Manage, select Add Rules and Features. Okay, then the next step, once Server Manager is done with the collecting data, we're going to select installation page and click Next. Role-based feature, and then the next step is also to click Next when we select WinOS NETLAB.local. So let's check if Server Manager is done. What's happening? Okay, so now it's ready. So under Select installation type, we're leaving the default row-based. Click Next. Under server selection, Windows OS NETLAB.local, we click Next. Then under the role, so what role are we installing? So at the select server role step, we're going to select web server, which is IIS. On Windows, the web server is IIS. So we're going to look for web server IIS. Once we select that, a pop-up window comes up, we'll leave the default settings and click add features. Okay, this is the pop-up, add features. Next step, you'll be brought to the select server roles pages. Click next. On select features page, also click next. So let's get that done. Next, select features, we click next. Now on the web server row IIS page, we also click next. And on the select rows pages, we leave the defaults and click next. And then finally click on install. Okay, so let's do that. Next, install. So while it's installing, let me check the next step. So the installation should take 3 to 5 minutes. Sometimes it's faster than that. Once finished, click close button. Now we'll be brought to server manager window. Okay, so it's still installing. Let's see the next step so that we're good to go with the next step. So once it gets to server manager window, the IIS web server should be running in the background. Now the next thing is to quickly add simple index page to our web server. So we're going to be doing that once it is done. So it's still installing text. Okay, installation is complete. We click close. Then we're going to click the magnifying icon in taskbar and type notepad and run it as administrator. So let's search notepad. So right click, run as administrator, say yes. The notepad is open. Now what do we want to do? In the notepad, we are going to type hello, this is a WinOS server. So let's quickly type that. Hello, this is a WinOS server. Verify that we get what they want. Hello, this is a WinOS server. Yeah, then click on file, save as, and on the PC select local disk. Okay, file, save as, PC, select local disk, double click NETLAB to open it, then double click www to open it. Okay, so we select NETLAB www, NETLAB www. Then at the bottom of the save as, type index.html as the file name, and then change the save as type to all files. Okay, index.html. So it's changing it from text to all files, and then we save. Okay, so the next thing, the index page is set up. The index page is set up. Now let's check it before we move to the next section. Click on Edge icon to open the browser. In the address bar, type localhosts and press enter. Now you should see the index page. Okay, so we want to test. Type localhosts on it, and this is our simple web server. Hello, this is WinOS. So that is done on Windows. Now we're moving on to the Ubuntu server. We're going to set up a web server on Ubuntu. So we're going to have to open Ubuntu and log in, then click on terminal. So let's leave Windows, go to Ubuntu, the same password. enter. So once it opens, we go to the terminal, then type the following command: cd sure. Okay, so press enter. So we're now in var. Want to see the contents of the folder, use ls. So let's see what is inside. So we have index.html, index.nginx, and 3 files inside. Okay, so there's an nginx server running. Now let's do some cleanup and start to build our own web server. So we need to type the following commands and enter password when prompted. So we're going to use root privileges sudo rm index.html. We want to remove that. So sudo remove index.html. Put the password ndg lab pass 1 2 3. Okay, next step, we are removing the index.nginx. So sudo remove index.nginx debian.html. Verify that and enter. So that is out. Now we want to stop the nginx service. So we type sudo service nginx stop. Sudo service nginx stop. Sudo service nginx. Okay, we stopped the service. Now we want to add our own index page. So we're going to use nano, sudo nano index.html. So but before we do that, I want to just verify that we have actually removed it. So this is ls. You can see it's only robots that is there. So now we use sudo nano. Nano is a text file, and we want to create index.html. Index.html brings us into a nano file. What are we typing inside? The same hello. This is the Ubuntu server. Okay. Hello. This is the Ubuntu SRV server. I guess it has exclamation mark. Yep. Okay. So once we've typed that, we save Ctrl S and Ctrl X. Then what next? Now let's start the web server. So using an Apache, it's an Apache server. So type sudo service apache 2 start. Sudo service apache 2 start. So it starts the service. Now we want to test it. This will start the Apache service and open port 80. So we're going to Firefox and we'll type localhost to test. So let's open Firefox and then type localhost. If you don't want to use localhost, you can use 127.0.0.1. And voila, hello, this is Ubuntu server. Good job. So we've actually created a web server on Windows and on Ubuntu. Interesting. Now to set up our load balancing. We're going to use Kali machine to access Kali, open Kali and use Kali, open the web browser. Okay, let's go to Kali, log in with Kali. Open a web browser. What are we typing into the web browser? 172.16.1.1. Still opening. 172.16.1.1. Come on, open. Do I pause? I don't make it long. Okay, so we 172.16.1.1. So we're in pfSense server, type sysadmin NDG lab pass 123 login. Okay, so we're in pfSense. What next? You see the default dashboard at the top. Click on services and select HAP proxy. Okay, services, HAP proxy. Here you go. Then we're going to be configuring the back end first, then configure the front end. So click back end tab, then click add. Okay, back end, add. So what are we adding? So in the name field, we'll type web server backend pool. Then the server list area, click the down arrow and to add the server, web server backend pool. Just to verify my spelling, web server backend pool, server list area, click the arrow to add. Okay, after I click the arrow, the page will expand. Fill in the blanks using the following information. Need to scroll down. So under name, we know X 192.168.0.50. So we scroll down. Under name, WinOS IP address. Port 80 under port 80. Okay, then under width is 50. Okay, so I guess we need to scroll. How do I get the other side? Okay. Okay, so under width we have 50. So we have, once finished, click the arrow to add another server pool and do the same. Okay, so click the arrow. So we have WinOS. Now we have Ubuntu. Ubuntu server 7.2.16.1.10. And port 80 with 50. So port 80 with 50. Okay, so we are good to go. Now we'll choose the load balancing option. So click the plus sign to expand the area to show options. Select round robin. Okay, let's find that. Okay. Load balancing round robin. So each server, when you are using round robin, each server is used in turns according to their weights. This is the smoothest and fairest algorithm when the server's processing time remains equally distributed. This algorithm is dynamic, which means that server weights may be adjusted on the fly for slow starts, for instance. Okay. Yeah, so round robin simply means the load balancer will be alternating the servers in the server pool depending on their assigned weights. But in this case, both weights are 50. Did I make a mistake? They're both 50, 80, 50. Let's see. So leave the rest of the configuration untouched. Feel free to check and learn any of the other configurations. Once done, scroll down to the bottom and click save. Okay, so let's just quickly look at what is in the other places. So the other options for load balancing, we have static round robin, list connections, source, URI, HTTP backends only. Then under access control list, we're not dealing with that. This has to do with firewalls. Then health checking. So we scroll down and then we click on save. Save. The HA proxy configuration has been changed. You must apply the changes. So I guess we're going to apply changes. Yeah. So click on apply changes and now we click on front end. Okay, so we're done with the back end. Okay, so now the front end. I guess we click add to. Click on the add button and edit HAP proxy. Okay. Add a name. Name is going to be web server front end. This is the external access point of the web server. Web server front end. External access, just to be on the safe side. Access point of the web server. Access point of the web. Okay. Push stop and the status is active. Yep. Okay. So in the external address, leave its default settings untouched. Scroll down to the right above the Start Options section. Click the drop-down menu to select Web Server Backend Pool. Start option. So I leave an external address untouched. Scroll down, Start Option. Default backend access control is actions. Okay. Under stats option. What's happening? I think I missed something. Okay. Default backend. We select web server backend pool. Yeah. Okay, so finally we leave the rest and click save and apply changes. Leave the rest, click save and apply changes. So the address is 203.0.113.1.80. Now let's activate the load balancer. Click on the settings tab, then check the enable HTTP proxy box, fill in the maximum connections as 10. Settings. Where are you? Settings. Enable HTTP, maximum as 10. Yep. Leave rest and click save and apply changes. Now it's time to test. Leave the rest and click save, apply changes. Okay, so we're proceeding to the next section. Yay! So in the Firefox browser, let's start a private window. I don't want this to be long. I hope I can get it done fast. In the Firefox browser, let's start a private window. Click on the menu button at the right top corner and select private window. Firefox, right? Firefox browser. Two 203.0.113.1. 203.0.113. I'm sorry for wasting your time. 203. My head is getting. This is the second lap I'm doing today. 203.0.113.1. Okay, so I'm not using port 80 because it's the default. If not, you would have put colon. So here is the web server. Hello, this is Ubuntu server from the load balancer. Okay, so we see this hello message from Windows. This server is the first one in the backend pool. So you see the message. Mine is showing me Ubuntu server. How come? What happened? 203. You should see the hello message. This server is back. Click refresh a few times to observe the changes. Should alternate. So why did mine start with Ubuntu? Well, maybe the Ubuntu is there. Let's refresh and see if it will show us the Windows. Yep. So it's showing us Windows and Ubuntu. So we have come to the end of the lab. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for stay tuned for more labs.